Hello and welcome to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neal Howard. So glad that you could join us today. Many of us have dealt with the issue of breast cancer, either on a personal level or someone that we know has developed breast cancer. It is a disease that afflicts not only women, but men as well. Our guest in studio today is Anisa Palmer. She's the executive director and founder of I Will Survive Incorporated in Atlanta, Georgia since 2010. And she's become a featured charity for the 4th Annual National Association of Professional Women. She's also an author of the soon-to-be published book. And she's here with us today to talk about her life involving breast cancer, her organization, and how her efforts to bring awareness and research into breast cancer is progressing. How are you doing today, Anisa?
I am doing excellent, Howard, and thank you so much for having me on the show.
Not a problem. Thank you so much for allowing us to take up some of your time. Now, could you tell us a little bit about yourself? I understand that you are a veteran.
Yes, I am. Served in the Army back when everyone started legally being able to drink. So certainly look at that as quite interesting. But I wanted to be a part of something great in the world. And little did I know, I thought I was doing something like the Peace Corps. And I wasn't. At the same time, I learned so much. And learn to take the good and the bad and make the best of every situation. And it was my second tour serving in Iraq, and I survived. And although we did lose soldiers, first deployment, second deployment, I was so grateful to wake up every morning to have my body still in one piece. It was a very, very traumatic experience. But I think after that whole surviving all of it, because so many soldiers are coming back with post-traumatic stress disorder. And so it's not just surviving the physical, it's surviving the mental, the spiritual. And I took these same concepts and wanted to formulate this into I Will Survive. And that's how I was born. But the root of it really originated from losing my mother personally to breast cancer.
Now, one veteran to another, I thank you and appreciate your service. Now, you are the executive director and founder of an organization. You mentioned I Will Survive. It's I Will Survive Incorporated, based in Atlanta, Georgia. Could you tell us a little bit about why you started this organization and what is your main focus and goal when it comes to breast cancer awareness?
Most certainly. This was back in 2010. I'm just getting out of the military, and I Will Survive was born. And we wanted to focus more, I should say, originally was just ourselves in the beginning with our mission to increase breast cancer awareness. And then we added through education, because I think that piece was really missing. And then the complete portion of the mission was also to provide financial assistance in lower income communities. I think those most important pieces were missing from just the market research that I did. And with that education piece, it wasn't just increasing breast cancer awareness. We had to put the education piece in because that what was missing. You know, when you see pink everywhere in October, the National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, what does this pink entail? You know, so okay, everyone's aware of pink. At the same time, we would do workshops or health events or come out to speak at different venues, and there would be several individuals in the audience, men and women, that didn't know men could get breast cancer as well. You know, so we wanted to be the difference in changing this this whole pink idea and make it more. You know, it has to be more. It can't just, you know, it's not all pretty and pink.
What is one of the main misconceptions that you run into when you begin to discuss your organization and your efforts?
The main misconception, there's so many, you know, one being that, you know, every organization that focuses on breast cancer awareness are the same. You know, everyone thinks it's the same. And that's somewhat hard. And, you know, we actually get a new transition of supporters, donors, community members who wanted to be involved just because of realizing how important health is with the new changes within the United States of the Affordable Care Act. And, you know, it's really good to finally see, you know, more and more of our applicants, the clients that we serve, you know, particularly in lower income communities, now have health insurance on their applications. And some not the best health insurance, but that's a start.
It is a start.
And for us, you know, it's a very, very important transition that the United States, long overdue for me, that I think. But it's good when you compare, you know, different countries within Europe, Canada, and the things that they're doing and what we were not doing here within the United States.
Now, as we wrap up this segment, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions. First of all, When it comes to raising breast care awareness among physicians, those who may not specialize in breast cancer or cancer at all, and they have something totally different that they're focused on in their practice and their career, how much education do you find yourself giving other physicians? How much funding and support have you received from physicians? And the next question is, where can our listeners get much more information about the I Will Survive organization?
Okay. First question. We'd love to see more support from physicians. We currently just had a new board member in our community that is a registered nurse. So that's the first of even, I think, stepping into the whole conventional medicine aspect within the United States. Which is good. I mean, when we have our breast cancer survivors that, reach out, or newly diagnosed individuals with breast cancer, and, we would never want to discourage. It's your right to choose whichever treatment and things that you'd like to take. But we want to be able to inspire and, inform them to be able to ask questions, within their,
Absolutely.
With their healthcare providers. It's very important, and to be able to understand, what treatment options are out there and how that affects them, not just 3 years, 5 years from now, but long term, which is very important. And, with the different health facilities that we do work with, we want to be able to build that relationship more. I think it's very important when we look at not just healthcare changing, through the military, through even the NFL with this new movie coming out with Will Smith's Concussion. It's a lot underlying there. And so it's when those physicians are taking the extra step to focus more on the prevention aspect, it's very important. And they are out there, and so we'd love to be able to work with those physicians and more, so that we can not just close off to one segment. I think it's important. And then the last piece, to be able to reach out to us. We're all over social media at I Will Survive Inc., Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and our website is www.iwillsurviveinc.org.
You've been listening to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neal Howard. It's been a pleasure this afternoon talking with Ms. Anisa Palmer, the executive director and founder of the I Will Survive Incorporated organization located here in Atlanta, Georgia, where her efforts are to bring awareness and also to gain support from the community at large and physicians especially. It's been great talking with you this afternoon, Anisa.
Pleasure, Neal Howard. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Thank you. Transcripts and audio of this program are available at healthprofessionalradio.com.au and also at hpr.fm, and you can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.